Newcastle are the richest club in world football and they're coming off the back of a historic season, winning their first trophy in 70 years and picking up UCL qualification for them. So why is every player on God's green earth rejecting Newcastle every time they get linked to that club? Coming into the window, everyone knew what Newcastle needed. They needed a goalkeeper, a centre-back, a backup striker for Isak and a right winger. Right winger they sorted out with Anthony Elanga. The other three, they're getting links, they're getting bids in, but then they just get rejected by the player or by the club. And we're just here to find out why. Why does it keep happening to Newcastle? They've got all the money in the world, they've got Champions League football, but nobody wants to join them. Is it because you don't want to live in Newcastle? I understand it, the accent's a bit too dodgy, it's too cold up there. But before we get into the video, please could you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure that you never miss a video. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, so any help would be much appreciated. Let's bring it to the start of the window with João Pedro. Newcastle obviously identified they needed a replacement slash backup for Isak, and they first set their sights on João Pedro from Brighton. Brighton valued him at £60 million, which is fair enough when you think about it. He was signed for 30, so they're trying to get more money on top of that, and he's literally their best player. So to Brighton, he is worth the 60 mil. The thing with Newcastle, and you'll see this a lot in this video, they just didn't match the bid. They sent two bids in, one of 40 mil, one of 45. And Brighton flat out rejected it straight away. And Newcastle couldn't offer any more than that 45 mil because of PSR regulations and the fact they have a limited budget this window. Even though they're the richest club in the world, it seems like they've been on a budget ever since the Saudis took over them. And everyone else knows what happened. Chelsea entered the race within about 2-3 days. Personal terms, agreed. Fee, agreed. Medical, happening. And he's playing for them in the Club World Cup. I mean, it makes sense he picked Chelsea over Newcastle. He previously stated he wants to live in London. That is his dream destination, I guess. Why you want to live in London? I don't really know. It is a shithole. As much as people say it's the capital, it's a great city, London is a shithole. To be brutally honest, Chelsea are a bigger club than Newcastle and he's more likely to win trophies. In fact, he's already won a trophy this season already. He's played about 2-3 games and he's already won a trophy with Chelsea. You ain't doing that with Newcastle this quick. So already it's looking like a good move. He's gone to win trophies, he's won a trophy. And to be honest, it feels like Chelsea is a better platform to play in if you're looking for the World Cup squad. Because obviously it's a World Cup year, players are going to need playing time, especially for João Pedro. He wants to be Brazil's main number 9. At Newcastle, are you really going to play that much over Isak? And when you do play, it probably won't be in your natural position. So he's looking at Chelsea thinking, Delap and Jackson, I can come in and start, be the main man for Chelsea, and then that improves his World Cup squad. Because Brazil, whenever you look at it, who are you going to pick? The starting striker for Chelsea or the one for Newcastle? You're picking Chelsea just off brand name alone. João Pedro to Chelsea, there's a lot of reasons why it didn't happen. They were reported interest back in the back end of last season, and Chelsea came in and swooped him because Newcastle didn't match the fee. The player didn't really want to go to Newcastle either, which is the two big things you'll see a lot in this video. The player doesn't really want to go to Newcastle when there's bigger clubs that are looking for him. And while on the topic of strikers, we are now on to Hugo Ekitike, the new signing for Liverpool. But he was linked to Newcastle for the last 3-4 years now, and they still didn't get their man. They put in a record-breaking bid of £70 million for Ekitike to come in and play with Isak. All the Newcastle fans, bang, we're not obviously going to spend 80 mil on a backup striker. We're going to play 4-4-2. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Nope. So like I said, Newcastle put in that bid of £70 million, flat out rejected by Frankfurt. They wanted more with the add-ons that was reported. And while all this was happening, there was background noise. Liverpool FC, the reigning champions of the Premier League, wanted to take Newcastle's prized possession in Alexander Isak. They wanted their main striker. And Newcastle, fair enough, said no. Our best player is not for sale. We are not giving him, especially to a Premier League rival, not happening. Liverpool are like, okay, cool. You won't give us Isak? Calm. We'll take your replacement. We'll take your backup. Because when Isak eventually does leave, you're going to have no one. So Liverpool grabbed Ekitike for about 10 mil more only. They've only spent 10 million more. You're telling me Newcastle United, the richest club in the world, do not have 10 million more pounds to spend on a player? Ekitike is actually having his Liverpool medical today at the time of recording, so that's a done deal now. He's gone to Liverpool. Newcastle have not got their man. And the important thing to note in this whole saga, never once did Ekitike actually say yes to Newcastle. The club was sorting out the fee, but never once did they ever agree personal terms with Ekitike. And remember before when I said they've been chasing him for 3 years, it's because before he signed to PSG back in 2021, Newcastle wanted him before they wanted Alexander Isak, and even back then, the fee was agreed, but the player said no. The player didn't even want to entertain the idea of going to Newcastle. From the minute he's probably been on this earth, he has realised Newcastle is not the place for him to go. So once again, Newcastle are missing out because a player wants to join a bigger team than them. The money doesn't matter. He wants to join a bigger team that has more of a chance of winning trophies. This next person surprised me, shocked me. I thought this was a done deal. Like, the fact that I haven't heard anything about it all summer, I kind of already thought they'd signed him. No, James Trafford from Burnley. They haven't signed him. All the talk throughout last year, this year, Pope's getting replaced by Trafford. It's calm. We're getting the new England 21-year-old keeper. He's going to come in. No. Like, he agreed personal terms last year with Newcastle. That's fine. At the time last year, Burnley wanted around 30 mil. Newcastle bid 27. Now they want 40 mil. Newcastle haven't put in a bid yet. Everyone knows this was like a done deal. Everyone knows this was Newcastle's goalkeeper signing. And for about 5 weeks, I heard nothing. Like I said, I thought it was a done deal. It's now come out that he's going to Man City for 40 mil. Because Man City, unlike Newcastle, paid the money. They got it done. They saw the keeper was available. It was literally reported Ederson was leaving. The day later, oh, Man City are now favourites to sign James Trafford from Burnley. All because Newcastle wouldn't go higher than £27 million for a New England international. Just pay the money. Like, Man City are now getting their keeper. Liverpool got a striker. Chelsea got a striker off them. And their main striker, Alexander Isak, can still very much leave the club. What a horrible, horrible window for Newcastle. Isak can still leave. There's reports of him going to Saudi. Liverpool was still in the race. Literally last week, the stance from Newcastle, not for sale. Now, we don't know because there hasn't been any shutdown links that Isak cannot leave the club. Liverpool have got the money there to put a bid in for him. Al Hilal have got the money there to put in a bid for him. They're just getting the green light from Newcastle. Will that happen? If Alexander leaves the club and they have this kind of window where their top targets keep rejecting them for bigger clubs, you can be the richest club in the world. You can win a trophy. You can have Champions League. But this proves that you're never ever breaking that top 6 up. Because you've got players like Mbeumo that rejected them for United. Players like Cunha that rejected them for United. Players rejected them for Spurs. So players that rejected them for teams that finish in the bottom half of the table, Newcastle ain't going nowhere, bro. Like, cool, you can have a few good seasons here and there, but to be an established Champions League level club, you've got to be making these signings, especially when they're young players as well. And they're choosing still not to come to Newcastle because they know the bigger clubs want them and they'll get more money over there. Newcastle just can't compete financially, globally, brandly, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find another word with Lee, really. This whole video, whole window, it shows Newcastle got no pull. They have 0 pull. So what does that mean? Newcastle can't attract elite level talents because ultimately it comes down to they can't offer the same amount of money as these other teams can, and they can't positively guarantee they're going to be challenging for trophies every season, whereas clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, you can say, yeah, we're going to challenge for at least 2-3 trophies a year, whereas Newcastle, maybe we'll get a good cup run here and there. You're not challenging for these big trophies like the other teams are. At the end of the day, players want to win the big trophies. That's why you go to the big team, because you've got more of a chance. It's how football works. It's very simple. Newcastle fans are in disarray. But this is just a football food chain. We experienced it with Trent and Konate potentially. Of course you're pissed, but you just got to accept it, man. It is what it is. It's Madrid at the top and everyone else falls beneath. It's just that Newcastle are in a lower tier than these top 6 Premier League clubs. But that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And will Newcastle actually sign anyone this window? Because so far, it's looking like a Langer and bust. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. I'll see you in a bit, and love.